This weekend is called the Connect Camp, so I imagine it to be a camp where, as equipped fellows, we will get a chance to bond with each other a bit more, to get to know each other more.
I think right now we're still excited to see new faces, so we're not going to just get right into it. We're going to be like, okay, great. Oh yes, I saw your name on the Facebook group.
Okay, the Cape Town group think that there's more of them, and now they can overpower us.
I'm truly excited, but at the same time a bit nervous. I don't know what to expect, how the children of the school are going to view us, how they're going to react to us, and what we have to bring forward to them.
I don't think I'm particularly difficult to work with in a group, but of course, a lot of people would say that.
I'm looking forward to contributing ideas, making sure that the team remains cohesive and productive. I think that's one of my main goals.
You'll notice my laugh a lot, yeah.
I think I bring like structural kind of thinking to the team especially.
What we hope to kind of establish over the next 2 days is how we can best identify ourselves as a community and how we can grow given our separate individual goals and dreams, and bring that together and see ourselves grow into the future and catapult.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to Connect. For the foundation, significance is all about empowering yourself first so that you can then go and empower others and make a greater contribution to others for the long term. So part of that for these year equips, our question was, well, what are they already significant in? So the opportunity with working with these high schools and these primary schools is for them to draw from their significance, from the many years that they try to empower themselves, and now to take that and empower others and to grow others.
Development is very slow in Villiers people. Development is very slow. You must understand.
There was a person who came, who was a social worker here, and he gave them some thoughts about what the community is like, what the kids are like in high schools.
Maybe they've passed grade 9 or grade 10, they go to those places where they pick the apples. And then they just end up picking apples and pears and fruit for the rest of their life. The alcohol and drug abuse is such a huge problem. Part of my job also is to go into schools and motivate them to do something with their life.
So after getting that context, they know what kind of audience they're working towards. So now they're brainstorming on what could be different ideas that they could work on for the performance so as to impact those kids.
Brief deadline kind of thing.
It's a lot of chiefs. Like everyone's trying to lead and trying to head it.
I don't like whatever issues are bothering people, we're getting it out now at the start, not at 11 o'clock when we're tired, when we thought we were finished. I think in terms of building a team and working in a team, it's a very important element.
Right now, things are starting to get intense. You get into the situation where everyone has ideas, everyone has sort of a know-how of how we should do it, but because it's so many of us with so many ideas, it's kind of hard to contain.
I'm kind of the voice of reason at times. Sometimes you just need that person to bring you back down to earth and say, look guys, that's a great idea, but we have 3 hours and we actually can't do everything.
What we decided was that working in a large group is difficult because nobody tends to agree easily, even if we're working towards the same thing. So one of the fellows decided was that we split up into 5 groups and people should go to the group where they feel they can contribute the most.
Because we're smaller now, it becomes more concentrated, we can get more work actually done. And we've split into about groups of 4 or 5 and it's actually working quite well.
We're all leaders, and that's where the problem comes with who do we listen to.
There are 36 in a big group, and all 36 need to believe in the same idea. And not all 36 are going to talk tomorrow. So there could be 6 facilitators or 10, but the rest would just have to be happy with, just contributing to the content and not actually being the star of the show. If they could learn that, that would be significant for me. And for me, that's the spirit of significance.
I think we've got everything sorted out now. We just need to do like one dry run, but after that I think, like, yeah, we'll do great.
We've run through it a couple of times and I think it's going to work, and if it doesn't, we know what we're here to do, and I think that's going to keep the momentum going even when things kind of
Keeping the objective in
wobble.
mind.
Yeah, going for it.
Like, it's only grade 7 children, but everyone is quite petrified that 50 of them are going to arrive and we have to entertain them for 3 hours.
When they arrived, they were a bit shy. They're, you know, but you could see they wanted to be part of what we were doing. And I think once we eased off the more formal topics that we had to cover and we just started talking about everyday life and school and things like that, that's when they started to open up. And I think a key point to get people to open up is for you to actually make yourself vulnerable to them. Show them that I too have flaws, I too have painful moments. Essentially, I was the energizer, the tigger in the room, and just trying to get everybody's spirits up. I think that was like the core for me. That's what I contributed. So if I make a fool of myself, so what? But in terms of them feeling the energy and self-confidence, that is one thing I definitely feel that they left with. I mean, one of our peers, you know, Obakeng, he had this boy who was being bullied.
He told me that he was bullied in school, so it was a time when I left, and then he said, "Kanye ni for me alien lost me." And then from that time I realized that I mean more than just someone who's helping him out. I'm actually like a father figure to him. It's something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life.
All accolades and all of that, it's like it doesn't really impact when you're trying to make a difference in someone else's life. It's really just about, you know, putting aside all your own stuff and just really focusing on them and their needs. The one young girl that came up and said thank you and so on, and the things that she mentioned, just to hear it from their point of view was really touching.
We learned how to love ourselves. We've been motivated by our fellow peers, and we loved it, and we're actually looking forward to see them next year.
Dag was vir my fantasmagories. Ik kan niet zien wat ding gelijk met die. Ik het alles gelijk. Alles was net lekker of so my.
Ik heb geleerd van groot te raak en juist aan je doel en ook door een goed als aan je doel.
Hulle was excited oor die dag. Hulle het jou die oor gepraat. En dit is soos hulle gesê het, hulle kan nie wag vir vandag nie.
Being significant is not about you as the individual, it's about what you do to another individual. Yes, we're all just a dot in the bigger pool, but it's not about the bigger pool, it's about that one dot that you are in the bigger pool.
We were able to make a level of impact on the community that we were working with, but I think the most significant impact of the entire weekend was the impact it had on us as a community. We are now able to relate better to each other. We now understand the context of the way that we think, the way that we interact.
From the learnings and that short-term impact that they're making on those schools, they're growing their own significance. And they're learning, and throughout the university years, they're continuing to grow their significance, because the impact that they need to make once they are Alan Gray Fellows needs to be a much greater one. So it helps give them an understanding of where do they need to grow for this greater impact.
I guess I did learn that I can be impatient a lot of the time. You know, I'm not as patient as I'd like to think I am.
One of the key things that I learned is that I actually do sometimes get a bit selfish. Like, I do actually want things my way, but I learned to keep quiet. That as a team, this might be the process that we need to go through, you know.
The most significant thing for me over the last weekend has been seeing the Canada Fellows' egos fall away. So you've got a lot of really high impact leaders getting together, and sometimes they stand in the way of their own progress. And it's been so great just to really see them following where they need to follow, leading where they need to lead, so that the greater contribution from the group has really been seen by all, and it's been experienced by themselves.